All right, everybody, I'm over here at Howl O Scream at SeaWorld on opening night. So it's September 8th, September 8th, opening night, the Friday. I've had the opportunity to go through all of the houses twice, all of the scare zones twice. I've been at Halloween Horror Nights for 2 nights so far, went Wednesday and Thursday. So I've done all 10 houses at least once at Halloween Horror Nights, and I've done most of them twice. I've done 7 of the 10 twice. I've been through all the scare zones multiple times, did the show over at Halloween Horror Nights. I didn't get a chance to do it here, but from what I'm here reading online, it doesn't seem like it changed much from last year, and I did see the show last year. We've done this video every year, so what I wanted to do now is I wanted to go through and really rate the 2 different parks, and I wanted to give it a rating on 4 different scores, and at the very last piece, I will tell you which one I would recommend to you. The last 2 years, Howl O Scream has gotten closer and closer to taking out Halloween Horror Nights, and will this be the year that it finally does? Let's talk about it. So the first thing we're talking about houses. So if we're looking at the houses overall, you have 10 houses at Halloween Horror Nights, you have 5 here. I think this year Halloween Horror Nights, and I said it in my Halloween Horror Nights review, which may come out after this video because it's really long and I was having a tough time uploading at the hotel. But what I would say is Halloween Horror Nights had no bad houses this year, but they had no one standout house like they usually do. So usually there's a house that's a 10. Spoiler for both parks, I don't have any house that's a 10 at either of the 2 parks. I would tell you that my favorite house at Halloween Horror Nights was Dueling Dragons, which was amazing. And then you had the 666 house, which was this house, this kind of this underwater siren house here that I also gave a 9. They were probably my 2 favorite houses so far of the event. And really closely behind that, if you go to Halloween Horror Nights, I had also rated Yeti and Blood Moon really highly. Blood Beckoning is very good here as well. And then my second time going through Beneath the Ice was also very good. But I would say overall this year, and it was really close, I'm going to give Halloween Horror Nights a 7.5 for their houses. I'm going to give Howl O Scream a 7. So I'm going to give a slight edge to Halloween Horror Night. More variety, longer houses. The edge that Howl O Scream has is the fact that you get to go through some of the houses and you're unencumbered by everyone else around with you. I went through 2 houses tonight when I was the only person in there. Was nobody in front of me because there was a little bit of a gap. That's a huge thing you're never going to find at Halloween Horror Nights. So the second thing we're going to talk about is the scare zone. So let's talk about that really quickly. So 6 scare zones here at Howl O Scream, and I believe there are 5 at Halloween Horror Nights. So I think this year was interesting. I think that there were 2 really cool scare zones here at Howl O Scream. There was the Blood Light District it was called, which was kind of this red light district with vampires, which was awesome. Their Frozen Terror is always good. Their Terrors of the Deep is very good. If you look at the ones at Halloween Horror Nights, the Jungle Doom was awesome. The Vamp 69 was awesome. So much like I've done in years past, I'm actually going to rate the scare zones a tie. I'm going to give them both an 8. I thought they were both very good this year. Better than most years, actually. I thought they were a lot of fun. Let's talk about kind of the atmosphere, the fun factor you have at the park. So again, as we were coming into Howl O Scream, this was a media event tonight. There was a lot of hoopla, a lot of hype. Very, very cool. Everyone having a great time. It's definitely a party vibe. But like I said a little earlier, the difference is really Howl O Scream is really, to me, caters more to that 20-something crowd, where I feel like Halloween Horror Nights is really catered to a younger crowd now, even more teenagers, which is awesome for them. It kind of grows what we're going to see in the future for that event. The downside is you don't have like that kind of rock video party vibe that you have here, where you've got people buying drinks on the street, and it's just more of a boisterous vibe here. So fun factor, I'm going to rate a slight edge to Howl O Scream, like I've done many other years, where I'm going to give it an edge just a little bit. Now I am going to add one more category before I get into value, and that's going to be merchandising / specialty food. I didn't do it 2 years ago because Howl O Scream just really wasn't ready for it. I think they are this year. So if we talk about the merchandising, there's a lot of really cool merchandising this year. Now, the food's also pretty cool. I got this hatchet pretzel. I'll throw a picture up in here. At Halloween Horror Nights, I've gotten the Twisted Tater, which is one of their things. I've gotten the Bloody Poutine, and I did the funnel cake fries. So I've tried a few different things there. I would tell you that the food at Halloween Horror Nights was better. The pretzel I had here was underwhelming. It was too thick and it was undercooked, so it wasn't great. But I think the merchandising also at Halloween Horror Nights just blows away what they can do at Howl O Scream. They're just not there yet. With all the intellectual properties and the ability to have like a Stranger Things, an Exorcist, Last of Us, all these properties, they own a ton of Chucky stuff, so they can do stuff that they just can't do here. at Howl O Scream, but Howl O Scream's got some really neat stuff this year, and I think they're coming up in that space. So I'm gonna give Halloween Horror Nights a 9 for food and merchandising. I'm gonna give Howl O Scream a 7. Now let's talk about value. So in years past, Howl O Scream had a huge value edge. I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room, which is the ridiculous amount of money I've spent in Orlando to come into these events this year. $179 tonight for my front of the Fear Pass. Now, here's what I would tell you. I could have 100% done this park and done each thing once if I wanted to without the front of the Fear Pass. I wouldn't have needed to do it. So it would have been cool. The other side of it is, if you, that's awesome. These guys are having a great time. But if you could have done the rides or the park without actually going into the front of Fear Pass, and it would have been fine. The nice thing is I was able to do everything twice so I can get a better gauge. And like I said, with the Beneath the Ice, it was wildly different. All the other houses were pretty comparable. Beneath the Ice was significantly better the second time. Halloween Horror Nights was crazy expensive, but I did buy the Russia Fear Pass with the Express Pass for everything. It was $594. So I've spent like $800 to go to Halloween attractions. Man, I'm actually kind of embarrassed myself to say that. That's so much money. It's just ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I love this stuff. This is what I do. Like, I don't spend money on a lot of other crazy things. Cars, and this is kind of my thing. So I think, from a value standpoint, although I spent a significant amount of more money at Halloween Horror Nights, I've also been twice. I'm gonna go at least once or twice more. There's way more to do. I feel like it's 10:30 right now. I'm gonna head out of here in the next half an hour. I feel like I hit everything twice, including all the scare zones. I've seen everything, all the houses. So for me, I'm looking at value, and in years past, this was a huge edge for Howl O Scream. It isn't anymore. So I'm actually gonna rate the value as even. So last year, I was really close to giving Howl O Scream the edge. This year, I'm gonna say I think Howl O Scream took a little bit of a step back, and not in a bad way. Better merchandising, still have great scare zones. Houses are still really great. The fact that they separate everything is really cool. The problem is right now, they're 3 years in, and now they're kind of playing on the same playing field that Halloween Horror Nights is. They're going after that same crowd, and they're charging basically the same amount of money. So to do that, you have to step your game up. I mean, your houses are great. The fact that you separate them is great. You've gotten your merchandise better. You have specialty foods. You've got cool booths. You've got great scare zones, awesome scare actors. You've got the party factor. You've got a lot of cool things in there. But at the end of the day, Halloween Horror Nights is just a little better at you than almost everything. So I'm gonna say Halloween Horror Nights this year, I think when I did my review, I gave it a 7.5. I'm gonna stick to that. I think it's really good. I think it's still the best Halloween attraction in America. I'm gonna give Howl O Scream this year a 7. I think it's still just behind. I think if you come here and you can get a good deal on a ticket online, like I screwed up and didn't, so that's my fault, and don't buy the front of Fear Pass, and you're okay with waiting in a line for 15 or 20 minutes, which is fine. I think you're gonna have a great time, and I think you will enjoy the hell out of it. So I still recommend Howl O Scream highly. They just haven't taken out the champ yet. Halloween Horror Nights still takes it, but it's still a great experience. Guys, if you haven't done it so far, hit that like and subscribe button. We're gonna have a full in-depth review of Halloween Horror Nights, like super in-depth, and a really full in-depth review of Howl O Scream with all of the houses, so please check both of those out. As always, stay scary, everybody. Thanks.